What's going on, everyone? Adam here. And it's been a little bit since I made a video, and I'm going to get into a little bit of that, why that is. And let me see if I can get this a little bit. Whatever. Okay, so as some of you may know, if you follow me on Twitter, I've been going through some things, and I wouldn't necessarily say hyping up this video, but I've been talking about this video for quite some time, and it's kind of going back to what I talked to earlier on in the year when it comes to like anxiety and depression, and I think it's something that needs to be brought to everyone's attention even more. And I feel like a lot of people dismiss this thing when others are going through it, and that's anxiety. Everyone goes through it, true, at some point in their life or another. Some people suffer through it day after day, day in, day out. I've had this depression, anxiety since I think I was about 16, 17. That's when I had my first panic attack, and that was from drinking too much caffeine. I stayed at night at a friend's house, and we pulled an all-nighter, and I had probably like 5 to 8 energy drinks within 2-3 hours maybe. And so I think it was that night or the night after I started like twitching really bad, and I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was seizures or something, and it just progressively got worse over time. And it got to the point to where I was passing out from it. And my girlfriend at the time said I passed out, and I was turning blue in my sleep. I was like, ooh, okay. But at the time, I had no idea it was caffeine. It took me quite a few years after to realize what was doing it. And once I found out that it was the caffeine, I haven't had a drop of caffeine since. And it's been, God, I sound old, 11, 12 years. After that point, I figured out it was caffeine. I laid off it, and my symptoms and everything eventually got better. It took time. And then ever since then, I have bouts of depression and anxiety here and there, but it's never been something that consumed me for weeks like this one I'm currently going through has. And I would get over it pretty quick, and go on living my life. This time around, out of nowhere, I have no idea what triggered it. I have no idea what caused this. I'm going on like 3 weeks now of anxiety attacks every day. And I also have derealization with it, depersonalization. And if you don't know what that is, you can look it up. But I feel their definition doesn't really, I don't know. I looked up the definition. I knew personally from experience what I thought it felt like, but I think their definition doesn't really hit the nail on the head, so to speak. So for me, when I have depersonalization, derealization, is I can feel like maybe I'm in a video game or something. Meaning I can see myself doing whatever it is I'm doing. Yesterday it happened. I was at a little like farmer market type thing, and I was just looking at I think it was jars of jelly, and I just felt like something was like maybe my soul or spirit just lift out of me and like take a couple feet back, and I was watching myself from behind. So it's basically you just lose touch with all your surroundings, and you have no emotion, you have no personality, you have nothing. You're just this vessel that's just there. And it is scary. It can be quite scary. And the reason why that happens, the depersonalization, is because you're not grounded in your mind. Meaning you are focused on something else within your body or the universe or whatever you're stressed about. Me, I have the same two thoughts I cannot get out of my head, and it's scary as hell to me, but a lot of times anxiety or depression isn't rational. I worry about two things I have no control over, and it's going to happen to everyone no matter what, and that's aging and dying. I don't know why, don't ask me. That's just two of the biggest things I freak out about, and it makes no sense. So why be afraid of it, because it's going to happen. You can't tell my brain that. So I just, when I go through depression and anxiety, I tend to think about that stuff even more, and that's what makes it worse. That's what brings it on. So it's like, people say, well, you're doing it to yourself. Stop thinking that. It's not like that. It's not a switch that you can just turn off. It doesn't work like that. People say it's in your head. Yeah, it is in your head, but you can't help what you're thinking. You can't control your thoughts unless you're purposely doing it. You can think, consciously you're not thinking about it, but subconsciously you are. Your mind is still thinking about it. And it's like when you're relaxed or not doing something, it will bring it to the center of your attention, and then you just freak out about it even more. And that's what happened to me. I was just thinking about it, and then I just left my body. It is just one of the most surreal, scariest feelings in the world, but you do come back. And basically what I want this video to be is to explain to people and let people know that do suffer this, that you're not alone. And I want to kind of tell you about some techniques that can actually work to help you get through it and hopefully make it go away for a while, if not a while, forever. So mine, like I said, is my thoughts, and then when they actually do start to take over, you can start feeling a panic attack, anxiety attack. And what that is, your heart starts beating crazy. You get heart palpitations, you get headaches, you get dizzy, you get sweaty, you get disoriented, you get nauseous, and your body just starts tingling and gets numb, and you hyperventilate. So there's a lot of things that you can look up that people say do, like do breathing exercises, look at find 3 things, or find 5 things, name 3 you can touch, 2 you can smell, 1 you can, whatever. And I think that could work if you have a mild version of anxiety. You have something like me and a lot of other people have, almost everything doesn't work. So it's almost like a double-edged sword, but if you can, and this is going to sound crazy, but accept that you're having an anxiety attack, accept that you're depressed, accept those thoughts that you worry about, that you're constantly thinking about. Just accept them, let them come to you, and think about it, and just cope with it while it's there. Just try to stay in the moment. That's the hardest thing you can do when you're going through it. Me, I worry about the future, like I said, about the dying and aging thing. Whatever is freaking you out, just keep thinking about it and don't run. Because what happens is, when you're having an anxiety attack, that's your body's defense system of fight or flight. It's trying to protect you. Your mind is thinking you're in danger when you're really not, so your body reacts to it. You just have to remember that your mind is playing tricks on you, and you have to try to either, if you can't ignore it, which is not really the best because it can make it worse, but if it works for you, go ahead. But it's to actually just accept and allow what's going to happen, and just wait it out. You're not going to die from it, even though it feels exactly like a heart attack. You're not going to die. Just always remember that. With me, I know what to do, but a lot of times I can't do it because it's just now. So it's like, okay, I didn't have time to prepare. And they only last anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes, sometimes an hour. Mine have been going from an all-day type thing to just when it gets dusk, and then sometimes I can manage it and be gone within 5 to 10 minutes. But what makes mine worse is I get the seasonal depression. So when it goes from summer to fall, I'm already depressed as it is. So when you add this anxiety on top of it, it just makes it 10 times worse. So it's a lose-lose for me, but you just got to remember that you're not alone. You're not going to die. It's normal, actually. Your body is trying to save your life. It sounds weird, I know. Your mind playing tricks on you. It's fight or flight. With me, I haven't even really eaten in the past week and a half, and I've lost 10 pounds. So it's not just mentally, it's physically, it messes with you. With me, I don't want to go anywhere, do anything. I've been actually contemplating on doing this video and putting it out for quite some time, ever since I've had my first one a couple of weeks ago. And it just sucks. It really disables you. You're a slave to your own mind and thoughts, and it just sucks. And that's the thing. It's like, people that go through this, you could have no idea looking by their face because we hide it so well. But people need to understand that everyone is fighting a battle that they cannot see. Everyone. And some of you out there may think I'm weak. Some of you may laugh at me. Some of you may actually take this and use it as something that can help you. But I know there's much worse things to be freaked out about that actually make sense, like if you have cancer or a family member died, or you just have some sort of disease, or you're just really stressed about work or something. Anything going on in life can cause this, and even if you've never had it before, it can be triggered just by something subtle that you don't even realize. Like I said, I have no idea why this occurred all of a sudden. I think it's been about 3 or 4 years since the last one I had, but that was like something completely stupid. If you want to talk about fears, my other fear was is riding in planes. I will refuse to go up in an airplane. And that was the last time I had one. And this is like, we were going to go to Florida and fly there, and I just freaked out for some reason. So the time got closer and closer to go on this trip, and my dumb self decided, okay, I'm going to go on YouTube and look at airplane crashes. Why? I don't know. I'm cuckoo, I guess. So I have issues when it comes to that, but that was the last time I had one. It was like 3 or 4 years ago, and it lasted like a day, maybe, and that was it. And until a couple weeks ago. So, like I said, you just gotta accept your anxiety and your thoughts, whatever you're thinking about. Just let it come to you. Don't run. You can meditate. That can help. Yoga, exercising. What I fail at doing is really to nip this thing in the bud. Is that as soon as you wake up, get up and start doing something. Get ready for the day, because the longer you sit there, the more you're going to give your mind time to ponder on these thoughts that make you anxious and depressed and all this other stuff. So try to get up as soon as you can to start doing something. Exercise, yoga, meditate. There's something you can look up called ASMR, and it's basically people use this high sensitive microphone and they whisper into it and they make different noises, and it's supposed to give you a sensation that starts from like your head and works your way down the body and just calms you and relaxes you. That works for me to some degree. It works best if you have earbuds in or headset. It can really help. Otherwise, you can do your breathing techniques and just try to cope with it that way. For me, I've tried medications, and that's completely up to you if you want to try it, but I think personally it makes it worse. How is something that's used for anti-anxiety, supposed to calm you when its side effects are suicidal thoughts and self-harm? Stuff like that doesn't make sense to me. If it's supposed to keep you from doing something, how's the side effect going to be something that you're trying not to do? It just doesn't make sense to me. So I've even tried smoking marijuana, and my body is very weird. Whatever is supposed to work for you does the complete opposite to me. So when I smoked, I get paranoid, and then it brings my anxiety on worse. So I've tried that. I've tried medications. I last night got it's a 100% drug-free supplement pill, and it's supposed to be for better moods and anxiety. I took one last night. It felt a little strange, probably because it's the first time you're taking it. You get like these, it's time release, so it releases a little amount throughout a few hours. So you feel it every time it releases into your body. You get like this little like feeling in your stomach, like you're excited for something, and then it goes away. And then you get another one, and it goes away. So it's a kind of weird feeling, but it kind of did help. The only downfall is that when you wake up in the morning, at least for me, it feels like you've been drinking all night. So that's the only thing that sucks. But just try different things. Change up your diet. Maybe drink some tea. Some teas can help you. Some extracts, some roots, just look up different things that can help you. Go on YouTube and watch videos like me. I mean, I'm not anything great or popular or anything like that, but there's videos on YouTube that can help. And just listen to everyone's different experiences with it and see how they handle it and cope with it. One of these are bound to help. You just got to find your own way to deal with it. And for me, music used to help up until a few weeks ago where I started having this again. Now it's like I don't want to listen to any of my music because I don't know, it's weird. Probably because I associate that with, I was probably listening to music when this happened, so it's like I want to stay away from music, and you lose interest in like almost everything. You don't really want to watch TV, or you do, but you can't find anything that's going to entertain you. You don't want to listen to music. You don't want to read, which I'll get to that too, reading. It's called CBT. I think it's CBT. Yeah, so you don't want to eat, you don't want to drink, you don't want to watch TV, you don't want to associate yourself with anybody, you don't want to leave the house, you don't want to do anything. And I think doctors don't understand anxiety, depression, because a lot of them just say, oh, well, you ever thought talking to a therapist? I've done that years and years ago as a teenager. I honestly don't think that helps. How is someone, and a lot of times these therapists are people that have no experience in it. They just know how to talk and get to you to open up. That's it. You can't talk to somebody and expect them to understand if they never went through it and suffered with it. So I don't agree with that. They're just there to collect a paycheck, just like doctors. They want to hand out pharmaceuticals left and right, opioids, so it lines their pocket with money. So that's why I don't. Though my doctor did mention CBT therapy, and that is cognitive behavioral therapy. And that's basically, I'll read it right here so I don't mess it up, is a short-term goal-oriented psychotherapy treatment that takes a hands-on, practical approach to problem solving. Its goal is to change patterns of thinking or behavior that are behind people's difficulties and so change the way they feel. So basically reading. Now, I don't have the patience to read. I've never liked reading. So again, something that could probably really help me, I'm not going to try because I just automatically assume it's not going to help because I hate reading. So, this says you just have these thoughts that you can't get rid of. And for me, like I said, it's aging and dying. I can't stop thinking about it. It's like we could die anytime. I could die right now. My parents could die. And I think too is, if I'm freaking about this stuff right now and nothing's even happened, how am I going to react to it when this stuff actually does happen? And that's where I get really scared. And so it's like you can't escape it. And so you're freaking out about that. And then you're also on the same side of the token, you're worrying about when you're going to have your next anxiety attack. So it's like no matter what you do, you're going to have anxiety. And like I said, people are probably going to laugh, think I'm weak, but don't listen to those kind of people. If they laugh at you, then they're the weak ones, because 9 times out of 10, if they suffered through something like this, they wouldn't be as strong as we are. So Just let them think whatever they're going to think, because they have no idea what we're going through. No idea. They can say they understand, they can relate, but they really can't. Like, I when people say they know what anxiety feels like, when they say, like, oh, I gotta, get my homework done or something, and I'm freaking out. That's like legit things to be concerned about. Like, oh, I'm gonna fail, or I'm worried about my kid. That's legit things to be scared about. For people like me, you're scared of your own thoughts. And so you kind of become like a hypochondriac in your own mind, to where, okay, I can't think about anything, otherwise I'm going to have a panic attack. But if I don't think about anything, then my mind's going to wander, and then I'm going to have it again. So it doesn't matter what I do. So you can't run from your own thoughts. It's just impossible. You have to stick with it. Accept that you're feeling these things. Don't fight it. Just accept it. And they'll eventually start subsiding. It's like this article I read the other day. It's you can't turn your mind off. There's no switch. Think of a pink elephant, huge pink elephant. Pink tusk, huge pink tusk, pink ears, huge feet, tail, everything, and get a good picture of that in your mind. See it in your mind really good. Now stop thinking about it and try to think about something else. It's still going to be in your mind because you just thought about it. There's really nothing you can do. You just got to accept it, and you may want to give up at times. I've wanted to. I started thinking about, it's like, if this is really how I'm going to be the rest of my life, why am I even alive? I'll be better off dead. And that's just how it is. You can't stop thinking about stuff like that, because it just becomes so overwhelming. It takes over your whole body, your mind, your spirit. It just takes over everything. And also, another way that I think you could probably deal with it is just find something to believe in. Find something that makes you feel better. Whether it's, something you believe in. Whether it's like a God. Whether it's an afterlife. Whether it's, something you're going to look forward to, like your kids. Just think about that. Trick your mind and say, why am I feeling this way? Think of something quickly that makes you happy, and think about that, and your body will, like, oh, that's why I'm feeling like this, and then it'll subside. But anxiety and panic and depression is definitely something that's scary, and especially when you throw in the depersonalization in with it. So you're watching yourself. Depersonalization, you're literally watching yourself through like a window. For me, it feels like my spirit my soul just lifts out of my body and just goes over here, or above me, and I'm watching myself. I have no emotions, I have no feelings, I have nothing. I'm just there. I'm just a shell of a human. And it's like my consciousness is outside looking at me. It's very strange. And a lot of people, you can look up too, a lot of people get it from smoking weed. And those seem like it lasts for hours, when these related with panic can last for 30 minutes usually. So this video is just to basically tell you guys that you're not alone. If you suffer through this, it's okay. You're not going to die. You're going to be just fine. Just try to focus on being happy, as hard as it is at a time like this. I know it's very hard. And just try to keep yourself around positive people. And if you have to be alone, go be alone. Go meditate. Sit in a dark, quiet corner somewhere in your house, somewhere outside, and just meditate and do breathing exercises. And it should help. But you're not alone. And there's a lot of things, people out there on YouTube that can help you. Just gotta, do it. Don't feel like you're weird. Don't feel like you have a problem, like you're, a psychopath or you're schizo, or you think there's nothing wrong with you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. This is just a part of life that some people have to go through, and it does make you stronger. It will. I like to think that I'm suffering through all this stuff now, and when actually something devastating does happen, I'll know how to react to it maybe. I'm hoping. So it really depends on how your point of view of life is. I want to be optimistic, but I'm very pessimistic. I don't think of anything good. I'm always on a negative side, because I've always taught myself to, why be positive about something and then be let down when it doesn't go your way or something like that. I always stay negative. That way, if I'm right, then there's no letdown. If I'm wrong, then there's something to be excited about, you know? So I try to look at that type of, I'm different. I'm a different breed. So if you made it this far, we're going on like a half hour, I thank you. It really does mean a lot. This is something a lot of people out there suffer with that you don't even know. So always be a friend to someone. Don't, kick them while they're down. Be there for them. Talking does help when you're going through it. They might not want to talk, but it'll take them time to open up. And a thing that does help is crying. I've done it a couple times. I'm not ashamed to admit it. It does help. It releases a lot of stress and anxiety. And you just gotta find your way to deal with it. But know that you're not alone. You're not gonna die. You're okay. There's nothing wrong with you. Nothing. Nothing at all. It's just a normal part of life, and if, unfortunately, we deal with it when there's really nothing to put it with. It's just, we deal with it in our own heads because that's how our brains operate. So, people say it can be a chemical imbalance. I don't really, I believe it, but I don't. And I don't trust anything man-made because you don't know what they're putting in there. And anything natural is not going to give you the side effect of killing yourself. So think about that. I don't want to be on something that's supposed to be for antidepressant, but it's also going to make me want to kill myself. So you just got to find something to believe in, find something that makes you happy. Hold on to those thoughts and try to make them overwhelm your mind instead of these bad ones. And just, watch these type of videos, listen to like ASMR stuff, the CBT therapy. Just find whatever. I mean, if you want to go down the road of taking a bunch of pills, then by all means do it. If you think it's going to help you, do it. Find whatever you can to help you. I'm against pills because you're going to have to try so many of them until you find the one that's going to work for you. And by that time, you've probably done so much damage to your body that, the anxiety is going to be the least of your worries. So, just a quick run through of what I said, Just don't run from your thoughts. Just stay and accept it and be in the now. Don't live in the past. Don't live in the future. Just accept what you're going through and stay in the now. As much as you're not going to be hungry, maybe. I mean, a lot of people are hungry. Their anxiety makes them eat. Mine makes me not eat. I eat maybe once a day now, if that. And it's very unhealthy, but I wanted to lose the weight anyway, so you always got to look at the positive of everything. So, try not to be a slave to your own mind as hard as it is. Just think of something that makes you happy and hold on to that. And if you ever go through a depersonalization, derealization, just know that that's normal part of panic, anxiety, and you'll be fine. Just give it some time. It's a very surreal feeling, but you will come back. So, I thank everyone out there that's listening to this. Thank you for hearing me out. Know that you're not alone. I'm here for you, with you, if you need me. I'll throw my own personal email on the screen, and you can always comment down in the comments. You can find me on Facebook, you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Instagram. Just, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. So, just know you're not alone. Everything you're feeling, going through is completely normal. There's nothing wrong with you. And just stay in the fight. You will come out stronger. Believe me, you will. And everything will be right again. So, I love you guys. Thank you for listening. I'm going to try to get to more videos. Hopefully, if this freaking anxiety will ever go away. You know, it just drains you, man. It's like you don't want to do nothing. By the end of the night, I'm like a zombie. So, love you guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye.